Flight boss, bitch. For sure. Listen to the mind of an Terry Smooth. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we gonna get into this motherfucking shit, because I just hopped in my motherfucking UFO. I done hovered up in this motherfucker, and I'm somewhere far, far, far away, like the beginning of what Star Wars say. Yee-hee. And motherfucker, we somewhere lost in space right now. But Archangel Uriel is gonna get you found in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Because why? This video is about why you keep seeing the same motherfucking numbers. Now, I know it's a lot of people out there that want to know why they keep seeing the same numbers. So, throughout this video, I'm going to break down what does each number represent, so you can know how to align them up. And if you keep seeing the same numbers, or if you keep seeing a pattern in the numbers, you'll know how to align it with yourself. Because what's actually going on is, when you do see numbers, this is nothing more, nothing less, but your spirit trying to show your body, your conscious bodies, your solar systems, your physical fleshes, all that, all your body. This is your spirit trying to let those things know what spiritual state it's in and what you need to do in the 3rd dimension using your solar system and physical fleshly fluids and all your light bodies, what you need to do with that in order to get both of us out of this situation, aka your spirit and your body, your soul and your body. You see what I'm saying? So when you see numbers and certain routines and patterns, that's how numbers play out in the 3rd dimension, as routines and patterns for you to calculate something or add or subtract something. But in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, this is your spiritual nature being in a pattern. So this means that your spirit is traveling in a space and location, and you're in that current wave, in that rotation, and you may be in it a little too long. So your spirit brings a message down to your physical body, because in the 3rd dimension, you may be lost by something. You may be lost by a person, place, or thing that's playing out a certain characteristic or energy signature that represents that frequency vibration. So in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, your spirit is in that frequency vibration rotating, right? And in order for your spirit to get you to understand in the lightest way before the situation become so dense that the experience becomes solid, that it can transform you physically or emotionally or something like that, it'll come to you in the lightest way. And that's when you see signs. And what is a sign? A number is a sign. So when you start to see number, and then you start to see that same number or same pattern or groups of numbers, this is let you know that you're stuck in some type of routine or pattern in some way, shape, or form. And this is your spirit trying to give you a message, or your spirit guides or ancestors that's in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension right now trying to hand you a message. So keep that in mind. Alright, now that we understand that, let's break down what each number means so we can start putting them together, so y'all can start seeing what actual frequency vibration your spirit is in at the moment. Because if you are a person that's seeing the same number, like for an example, you might got a clock or a watch or something like that, or you at work, or whatever the circumstance you are in, that you always around a clock, and say you always look at this clock at this particular time. You see what I'm saying? You like, damn, it's the same time every time I look. Okay, the numbers are not like they are in the 3rd dimension. They play out as frequencies in the they play out as frequencies in the motherfucking 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. So this create planes. This is how we rotate in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. This is how we move based upon what we create for ourselves. So we create a plane of existence. This is where y'all get the letter L from, the line, the 1, the squaring off, the 4, the 90-degree angle, the opposition angle. You know what I'm saying? This is where you get all that motherfucking shit from. So for the most part, it creates all the motherfucking lines and angles and shit like that. So for the most part, when a spirit is in a state of being of wanting to be an individual, it emits a frequency, an idea, a thought pattern. So that's a frequency. So this is where y'all get the concept of a plane. You see what I'm saying? A plane. And it becomes a plane of existence. Because for an example, this plane, this line, this is where y'all get the L, all that shit from, right? When a being is squaring itself off, right? This is when a state of being, which is your spirit, is in the state of being of wanting to be an individual. So it creates a frequency. Now, when once you start to get the feeling and emotion about that thought and idea, that frequency becomes alive. Then it starts to vibrate. And the longer it vibrates, it can create shapes and forms out of it, aka realms of realities that can be perceived as solid. You see what I'm saying? So now you have a realm of reality within a plane of existence. This is why you got many different realms of realities within planes of existence. So when you talk about a plane of existence, you're basically just talking about a stream of thought, a conscious wave, a frequency. You know what I'm saying? And whether the level of life the being is on, that'll be the one that you're actually riding as far as a wave. But that'll be the plane. And this is where y'all also derive the flat concept from. So this is letting you know 1L. This is like our light bodies. You know what I'm saying? And this is how we move as stars and try to bring ourselves in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, coming from as spirits in the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension. So what y'all trying to perceive as a plane or flat in the 3rd dimension is basically, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? It's physical in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, but it's really just how we're moving as far as a frequency, wave. But in the 3rd dimension, we're trying to perceive it in a lot of different ways. But we see it play out through many different attributes, through many different shapes and forms, because these are just a lot of different frequencies that's emitting and creating the frequency that we are in at the moment, which is a lower vibrational one, which is a one that came after the fact. You get what I'm saying? So for the most part, when we talk about a plane of existence, I'm about to create a plane of existence right now. My state of being is wanting to be an individual right now. So now I have became a space within the space. Now I have a thought and imagination, right? Now that is emitting a frequency, right? So now that I emit that frequency, that becomes a plane. It got shot out. That's a plane, a flat line throughout the universe. Now I'm going to live that out. I'm going to express it, have a feeling. Now that's an emotion. That's a vibration. Now that frequency is vibrating. Now that plane have an existence because that frequency is alive. That idea and thought is alive. It has an expression now. It has a vortex. It has a signature to it now. So now that it's alive, it's a plane of existence. Now what's going to get created out of it is a bunch of realms of realities, a bunch of shapes, forms, lights, bacteria, whatever the fuck y'all want to call, that get emitted into that shit. That becomes the realm of reality. That becomes the realm, and the realm, what's ever real in that realm, aka we got manifested out of that energy signature, becomes the reality. So that's why we call it realm of reality. So the plane, this is why planes of existence can have a bunch of realms of realities in that motherfucker. So that's why we got fears and all kind of shit. So let's break down these motherfucking numbers and why you keep seeing these numbers and what they actually fucking mean. So for the most part, now, since you in the plane of existence of the 3rd dimension, you have many different realms of realities here. You could jump in many different realms, many different vibes, many different concepts, many different ideas, but you may only have a level of understanding of this plane of existence. So a lot of y'all be stuck in 3D. You see what I'm saying? And this motherfucker. And shout out to Young Pharaoh. He just put out a video talking about motherfuckers stuck in the 3D. I resonated with that motherfucking video. Shout out to Young Pharaoh. Now, let's get into these numbers and shit. Now, let's get into motherfucking 1. What does 1 represents? Now, like I said, when your ass need a message, because your spirit is already in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, when your ass is blinded by 3rd dimensional shit, that's playing out other frequencies that may get your ass wrapped up, here's when you may see the common numbers over and over again. 1 is referring to yourself. 2 is referring to someone around you. 3 is referring to your surroundings or your location. So this basically your surroundings and your location. It's always going to be an energy vortex that you feel. This is why we have ghettos, neighborhoods, middle class, suburbs. For an example, you take somebody in the suburbs and put them in the hood, they're not going to resonate well. So the 3 represents surroundings. So if you keep seeing 3, pay attention to your surroundings in some way, shape, or form. You see what I'm saying? Because something's gonna play out in your surroundings that's gonna give you a message, and it comes into the lightest forms first. The lightest forms is numbers. You start to see signs, and what is a number? A sign, because this is something that we try to like point to in the 3rd dimension as an energy signature, because it's playing out in many different ways in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. So since we can only understand it in this plane of existence in the 3rd dimension, we give it signs and sigils. So the first lightest form you're going to get is a sign. A number. If you don't pay attention to that shit, and if you ain't wise enough, because you got to be kind of wise to understand the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension messages that come to you, or the 7th, or the numbers that you always see that's dealing with 7, 8, and 9. But for the most part, if you ain't a person who are aware of signs, then you gonna keep participating in that frequency vibration to the point that you manifest some energy out of that shit that you don't want to, because you wasn't aware of the signs. So the signs have to play out more harshly, to the point that it play out physically in your life, that a person, place, or thing may transform your ass in some way, shape, or form, whether in a thought form, emotionally, or kill your ass. You see what I'm saying? Now, 3 represents your surroundings and your location. 4 represents the ideas and concepts about your surroundings. So what do I mean by that? Like, for an example, your surroundings, you just see a bunch of shit. You don't know what the fuck that is. But now you got people calling this thing that you see in your surroundings a tree. So now there's a bunch of different ideas and concepts about the surroundings. That tap you into number 4. That also taps you into the 4th dimension also. So, you know, all the numbers is correlated all in the same aspect, no matter how you want to look at it. 5 is feelings and emotions about the surroundings. So the feelings you catch, aka the vibe you feel about the surroundings that you in. So anytime you got a certain vibe that you catch in the surroundings, pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's if you keep seeing the number 5. If you keep seeing the number 5, pay attention to the vibes that you're catching in the surroundings that you're at the moment. You see what I'm saying? 6. Did I say 4? Yeah, 4 is the ideas and concepts about your surroundings. 6 is the creations within your surroundings. So that's like the things that's growing, you know what I'm saying? The food you might eat, you know what I'm saying? Things that's created, things you sitting on, or whatever like that. If you keep seeing 6, pay attention to all the the little details and all the little shit that's in the surroundings, that's created out of the surroundings. Pay attention to that shit, because it may be something that's trying to come to you as a message through that shit to try to get you to understand and see something, to change it with the physical form in the 3D, so your spirit can get out of that rotation in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Because you might not see the signs, and you may not be spiritually or consciously aware enough to see things, so your spirit have to come to you in that way before y'all kill each other. You know what I'm saying? Now, 7 represents wisdom and advice within the surroundings. So if you keep seeing 7, pay attention to when you starting to get advice from something, or when you start to feel like this is something that you're getting wisdom from, or something like that. If you keep seeing 7, pay attention to those. Pay attention to that day or that week when you're receiving some type of wisdom or an experience in your life. Pay very close attention to those things. Or when you're receiving advice, whether the advice is good or not, pay attention to the actual what's being advised in the first place. Pay attention to what's being advised to you in the first place, and just assess that. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to that, especially if you keep seeing 7. If you keep seeing 8, pay attention to, like, you know something's coming to you that's dealing with time, or something that you're indulging into. So pay very close attention to the things that you're putting all your time into, and the things that you are indulging into. Because a person, place, or thing gonna manifest out of that circumstance to kind of let you know if you ain't seeing the signs. So if you keep seeing 8, that's what that represents. It's something that you need to detach from, that you keep putting time into, or that you are indulging into. Pay attention to those things. It's something that you might need to moderate, so you can start doing in moderation. And then 9 represents the completion of something. So if you keep seeing 9, get prepared, or start to pay attention to something that's like at the end, or something that's getting ready to transform. For an example, say you're in a relationship, but you start to have them thoughts like, man, I don't know, I'm about to be with this motherfucker forever. You know what I'm saying? If you keep seeing 9, pay attention to those moments. Like the ending type moments, those moments you feel like something finna change or result. Pay attention to those moments, because there's information that's trying to come to you in those moments. Now, let's talk about if you're trying to if you keep seeing double or triple numbers. Now, if you keep seeing double and triple numbers, you have to overlap it. Now, here's what I'm talking about, overlapping it, right? Because anytime something's added, like I said, y'all like to add shit in this realm of reality, and y'all don't know this is why y'all keep manifesting dumbass circumstances in y'all life, because y'all keep adding, when in this realm of reality you're supposed to subtract. You're supposed to do the art of deduction. You know what I'm saying? And then once you do the art of deduction, you only add what you need. And once you step into a space where your expansion and contraction is much more greater, then your wants and needs can be adjusted in that plane of existence. But for the most part, you need to understand what realm of reality you are in at the moment. So when we talk about when you're seeing double and triple numbers, now this is what I said, you have to overlap it. Now, what do I mean by that? Say you keep saying 333. Now, you know that 3 represents your surroundings and your location, right? But like I said, the numbers itself, you have to overlap it because you're bringing it down into a lower density. So for an example, if you're seeing 333, you're seeing 3 times. So for an example, you take one of the 3s and that's going to represent what 1 represents, right? 1 represents yourself. 2 represents someone around you, right? So if you keep seeing 333, take one of the 3s. You know that you know that a situation is going to be played out that's correlated to your surroundings, right? Something's going to take place in your surroundings. Then if you see 333, you're seeing it for a second time. So the second time, this means somebody else going to bring what's in their surroundings in your surroundings in some way, shape, or form. And then you're saying 333. So you're saying 3 3s. Then that means your surroundings is going to clash. You know what I'm saying? So something is going to happen where you involved with it, someone else involved with it, and then it's going to create an overall involvement of something. You see what I'm saying? So if you keep seeing 333, that's what that's trying to tell you. So that's your spirit is trying to tell you, get ready. We need to run right now. Get out of this state, get out of this space, or you're going to actually experience this space in the 3rd dimension as a physical trait or a physical attribute based upon a person, place, or thing, or a circumstance or situation. Let's say you keep seeing 777, right? What does 7 mean? 7 mean wisdom, advice within, or wisdom or advice within your surroundings. So like I said, 1 means yourself, 2 means someone outside of yourself, and 3 means your surroundings and your location. So if you're seeing 777, this means a situation is about to be manifested that's correlated to your wisdom, or your way of advising, someone else's wisdom and their way of advising, and then y'all about to create a circumstance of where y'all both about to learn something. Y'all both gonna need to be advised on something. You see what I'm saying? Y'all both gonna have to experience something. The surroundings and everybody involved is not gonna be right. For an example, that's like a situation of me and you plan to go rob a house, right? So I got this idea, I got wisdom on how to rob the house, and you got wisdom on how to rob the house. But if I keep seeing 777, then that means what's about to get ready to happen is, soon as we get in the house, it's going to be something that we don't agree on. Like, you finna bring everything in your world along with everything in my world, and we brought that together, which is robbing the house. So that was the world we created, but both of our worlds getting ready to clash in that 3-dimensional world we just created, robbing the house. So you may do something wrong, I may do something wrong, I may leave evidence, you may leave evidence, we may fuck each other up or something like that, then therefore we both go down. That's how that play out. So if I keep seeing 777 and I'm spiritually inclined enough, my ass is supposed to be wise enough to be like, man, I don't even think we should rob the house. I don't even think we should rob the house right now. You know why? Because I would know what 777 mean. I know 7 means wisdom and advice in my surroundings. I know 1 means something that's correlated to yourself. I know 2 means something that's correlated to someone outside of myself. And I know 3 means something that's correlated to my surroundings and my location. So if I keep seeing 777 and I'm a motherfucker who like robbing houses, and I keep seeing 777, then I should automatically know that, all right, my world and my wisdom and my knowledge is about to apply with somebody else's wisdom and their advice and their knowledge. And we finna create a circumstance that we both about to be learning from, that we both about to get some wisdom and knowledge from. And if we finna rob a house, I don't think that's gonna play out in my goddamn favor. So I don't want to participate in that energy. Thanks, spirit. You know what I'm saying? And I see 777 on the radio. I'll probably go in the house, see 777 on the clock or something else in some type of way. I'll probably get on the internet, see 777 or something like. I'll probably do a video, and when I look at how many minutes I'm going to see 777, and then I just sit back and be like, God damn, thank you, spirit. And I just saved my own fucking life. You see what I'm saying? Just cause I was watching Archangel Uriel, and I knew the motherfucking number system was just trying to tell me that my spirit is in a state of being that's rotating and is tired of rotating in that space, and it's letting me know that it's getting ready to manifest some bullshit down here in the 3D. So it has to come to me in the 3D way. That's why when you hear voices in your head, it come in your language. Cause your spirit don't know no other way to come to you. Your spirit in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, like a god, like motherfucker, like, hey, I don't know how else to come to you. So I gotta come to you in your way of what you lost in the 3rd dimension, which is language is one of them. Y'all motherfuckers get so lost in the 3rd dimension, you lose your spirit. Your spirit be like, yo, where you go? Yo, you got lost in the light. Where you go? Where you going? Go. Flight bus, bitch. Goddamn. Air.